Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd. We're calling to order the City of Carson Housing Authority Successor Agency and City Council meeting. In accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, if you require a disability-related modification or accommodation to attend or participate in this meeting, including auxiliary aids or services, please contact the City Clerk's office at 310-952-1720 at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. The public may address the members of the City Council on any matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council or on any items on the agenda of the City Council during the designated public comment period. There will be 2 oral communication sessions, one for agendized items and one for non-agendized items. The public may view the meeting on the city's website. The meeting will be streamed live over the internet via www.carsonca.gov or on YouTube, www.youtube.com/C/City of Carson, California official YouTube page. It can also be viewed on cable TV, Spectrum 35 and AT&T Channel 99. If you're not able to attend the meeting in person, public comments can be submitted before the meeting. You can email public comments to the City Clerk's office. The cutoff time to submit any email communication is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communications can be dropped off at the City Clerk's office or in the white box outside of City Hall. The cutoff time to submit any written communication is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communication dropped off at the City Clerk's office or at the white box or any email received will not be read aloud at the council meeting, but will be circulated to the City Council and incorporated into the record. Roll call.
Councilmember Deere.
Present.
Councilmember Hicks.
Present.
Councilmember Rojas.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Hilton.
Present.
Mayor Davis Holmes.
Present. Flag salute, Councilman Hicks.
Everybody please stand and face the flag. Ready to begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
And we have with us for the invocation none other than Pastor Michael Ely of Prevailing in Christ Ministries. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
And hello and welcome. Good to see all of you this afternoon, this evening. Amen. Let's bow our heads in a word of prayer and just, Father, we thank you for your glory. We thank you for the presence of your wings that overshadow this great city. We pray, Father, for the unity and the creativity that you would work in our minds and our spirits as we come together to unify the city, to do great things. We pray for your covering. We pray your choice blessings to be upon this meeting, that it will work in such a great way, Lord God, that it will benefit the constituents of this city. We just thank you, Father, for the creative work that you do in the lives of each individual that sit on this council. We just pray for their families and their homes, and we just thank you that you would stand in all of our spirits and unite this great city to do great things for you that will bring you glory and honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Closed session items 2 through 6. Are there any public comments? City Clerk.
There are none, Mayor.
Madam City Attorney, report on the closed session items, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The council will meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 or D3 and E1 because there is a significant exposure to litigation in one case. The council will meet pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 because there is a significant exposure to 2 potential cases. LA Regional Water Quality Board threatened litigation claim numbers are in the agenda. I'm not going to repeat the claim numbers. The council will meet pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.91 to confer with legal counsel. Actually, item number 4 will be continued to the next meeting. We're not prepared to talk about the Watson Land Company lawsuit, so that's going to be continued. The council will meet pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 to confer with legal counsel on the matter of Cam Carson LLC versus City of Carson, LA Superior Case Number 20 STCB 16461. And lastly, the council will meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 with city manager and assistant city manager and human resources officers regarding labor negotiations with AIM, CPSA, AFSCME Local 809 and 1017, as well as unclassified management. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna recess to closed session. We'll be back at 6:10. If we do not finish, we'll go back into closed session, but to the public, we will be back out at 6:15 at the latest. Okay? tax fraud. What? What's wrong here? We're reconvening to open session. Madam City Attorney, report out on closed session items, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The council met in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 or D3 and E1. Because there is a significant exposure to litigation in one case, no reportable action was taken. The council met pursuant to the same code section, subsection D2, in the matter of potential exposure to litigation between LA County Regional Water Quality Board in two claims. I won't read the claim numbers, they're on the agenda. No reportable action was taken. Council did not consider item number 4. It will be continued to the next council meeting. Item number 5, council met pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1 to confer with legal counsel in the matter of Camp Carson LLC versus City of Carson, case number 20 STCV 16461. No reportable action was taken. The council met pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 with city manager, assistant city manager, and human resources officer regarding labor negotiations with AIM, CPSA, and AFSCME Local 809 and 1017, and on classified management. No reportable action was taken. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have introductions. Captain Jones, are you here? Okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, rest of the council, our city manager. How's everybody? Good. A couple updates from the station since our last meeting. I just wanted to thank the entire community who came out last week to our Coffee with the Cop event, as well as assisted in our blood drive last week. There were 2 great events. Our team last week had the pleasure to go interact with a lot of our youth in the community. They were at the Dignity Health Sports Park helping out with the Easter egg, Easter event, so they really had a good time there. As we know, April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Autism Awareness Month, and we just want to give a couple tips and a couple helpful hints and advice on people of some things. Sexual assault, as we know, can occur anywhere and at any time and in any situation. So we just want to remind folks to do everything you can to try to avoid hazardous situations. But we also want to make sure we support you and know it is never your fault regardless of any circumstance. Here are a few helpful hints to provide a few safety tips just to reduce the risk of being a victim and a survivor of sexual assault. 1, don't be afraid to communicate your limits clearly. Make sure people respect your wishes and that they're told when they're crossed the line. Do not hesitate to let folks know when they cross the line. Be assertive. Be direct and firm. State when you do not want something to happen and stick to whatever your decision is, because you don't have to feel pressure to change your mind in any type of situation. Trust your instincts, and then if you need to, don't be afraid to respond physically. If a person is not responding to your objections and not understanding when you say no or stop, you have every right to respond physically. When you're out with friends, make sure you be careful and watch out for one another, and don't leave any beverages unattended. We want all our survivors to know of a couple resources they can contact. As always, you can contact us at the Carson Sheriff Station at 310-830-1123 or 911. You can also contact the YWCA Crisis Intervention Hotline at 1-877-943-5778 or the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673. Timely reporting of any of these type of crimes is very crucial in preserving evidence, as well as helping us make sure we bring those who are responsible and hold them accountable and bring them to justice. In addition, like I said earlier, to sexual assault, it is also Autism Awareness Month. As you can see, I have my autism awareness pin on because we're always supporting those who are have disabilities or on our autism spectrum. Our troops work daily to ensure we serve our community that is impaired by autism, and we want to do everything we can to bring awareness, bring acceptance, as well as bring inclusion. We're currently right now, I'll have Deputy Valdez come up because I want to show you a couple items. We're currently right now working on outfitting all our patrol vehicles with some autism sensory bags, and they consist of different items that may bring a calming effect for people with special needs. So a couple things that the bags have, they have headphones. She took out first. We have the dry erase board as well as communication picture cards, and those are going to help when we come with folks who are nonverbal. They also have the headphones, which will help with those who may be affected by noise or be very sensitive to noise. They have the sunglasses. So the sunglasses, as well as some of the other fidgety toys and spinner toys and liquid bubbler that she's going to take out, they're going to assist our deputies when they come in contact with those who have anxiety or some type of sensory overload or dealing with lighting affects them. So those are some of the items that our deputies will be outfitted with as they respond to calls dealing with those who may be on the spectrum or have some form of autism. In addition, our deputies go through 15 to 20 hours of training in the academy and additional training just to make sure that they are up to date, to know how to interact appropriately, to have the de-escalation skills, and do everything they can to make sure they make the right choice and decision when encountering those who may be on the spectrum. Lastly, in partnership with the city, we are currently looking at trying to have a program where we can have some form of a sticker placed at residences or places where those with autism or on the have some type of special ability live, so that it'll be easily identifiable. This concludes my report for this evening. Me and my team will continue to work collectively to make our community a better place. Thank you for the support and the men and women of Carson Sheriff Station.
Thank
Any
you,
questions?
Captain. That's a good training for our staff. I received autism awareness, how to handle them, because I received a couple of phone calls from some parents that was concerned about how our staff was handling some of the situations. So I think that would be a good training for our staff, and also that little gift bag to have at the parks, because we don't want to get into a situation where we don't know how to handle the situation. But I did receive a couple of phone calls. I know Keisha, what's her name? Keisha, MPT. Keisha.
I think autism awareness and handling those, a lot of parents want to know how we handle those. It's actually in the media right now of how an agency handled a young child with autism, since has heightened the awareness of how law enforcement agencies highlight people with autism, or handle those with autism. So thank you for being on the front line of that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I really want our staff to have this training. And you can coordinate that with our city manager, because before that incident that MPT was talking about, Keisha has been pushing for our staff to be more sensitive to the needs of the children with the special needs. And thank you. Anyone else? Thank you.
Welcome.
Next, we have a report from Chief Kane of the Los Angeles County Fire Department.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. Acting Assistant Chief Brian Kane, Los Angeles County Fire Department, with your public safety report for the month of March. 996 total responses by LA County Fire Department. 20 of those responses were fire-related, consisting of vehicle fires, mobile vehicle fires, outdoor fires, and rubbish fires. 702 emergency medical responses, 480 of those requiring advanced life support interventions. And that is your public safety report from LA County Fire Department. Is there any questions?
Thank you for that report, and thank you for being here. Any questions from my colleagues? Hearing none, thank you so much for that report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have presentations. I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me at the front of the podium. Everyone should have their certificates that they're going to be presenting. Presentation will be, I'm going to go out of order here, is from Mayor Pro Tem. Proclamation recognized in April as National Prescription Take Back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We actually have 3 people we're going to give it to tonight, but I want to give it to our deputies first because they're out keeping us safe, and we don't want any time to lapse while they're keeping us safe. So the first person receiving the proclamation is Deputy Valdez, Amy Valdez. She graduated in 2006 and has been a deputy sheriff for 18 years, and she only looks 18. Her first assignment was working at Century Regional Detention Facility for 6 years. After that, she transferred to Carson Station, where she has been assigned for the last 12 years. She has worked on various teams like the SAO, Summer Team, Parks Team. She's currently assigned to the Community Relations Office, where she gets to interact with the community on a regular basis. She enjoys what she does and loves that every day is a new experience. Let's give it up for this great deputy. And all of the proclamation will say essentially the same thing. So we're going to read it once, and then we'll read everybody's bio. The National Prescription Drug Take Back. Whereas the National Prescription Drug Take Back Day aims to provide a safe, convenient, and responsible means to disposing of prescription drugs, while also educating the general public about the potential for abuse of medication. And whereas the drug overdose epidemic in the United States is a clear and present public health, public safety, and national security threat. And whereas opioids, addictions, and driving this national epidemic, opioids are a class or drugs that include the illicit drug heroin, as well as the illicit prescription pain relievers, oxycodone, hydrocodone, codeine, morphine, and fentanyl. Whereas the City of Carson Prescription Drug Take Back Day is scheduled for Saturday, April 27th at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Carson Sheriff Station, reflects the city's commitment to our citizens' safety and health, encouraging the public to remove unneeded medication from their homes as a measure of preventing medication misuse and opioid addictions forever starting. And whereas the City of Carson is committed to making our community safer and healthier, we can do this by reducing overdose and overdose deaths. While community does its part to turn in unneeded medication and remove them from potential harm, the city is doing its part to further reduce drug-related violence. And whereas people often share their unused pain relievers, unaware of the dangers of non-medical opioids, most adolescents who misuse prescription pain relievers are given them for free by a friend or relative. Women are more likely to have chronic pain, be prescribed prescription pain relievers, be given higher doses, and use them for longer time periods than men. And whereas families, schools, businesses, faith communities, law enforcement, local government departments, medical professionals, seniors, adult day healthcare centers, retirement homes, healthcare practitioners, and pharmacists in the city of Carson are encouraged to demonstrate their commitment to substance abuse prevention by supporting the City of Carson National Prescription Drug Take Back Day, intended to highlight local efforts against prescription drug misuse and abuse. And now, therefore, the mayor and the City Council of Carson, California declares April 27, 2024 as National Prescription Drug Take Back Day and encourage all citizens to participate in the prescription drug take back activity and to safely store and dispose their expired medication on a continual basis. Signed this day, the second day of April 2024. She says she don't want to say. We have one more deputy, and that deputy is Sergeant Armando Hernandez. He started volunteering with Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department at the age of 19 as a deputy explorer. He was hired with the Sheriff's Department in 2005 as a deputy sheriff and has 19 years on with the Sheriff's Department. He has worked assignments such as training officer, detective bureau, and as a drill instructor at the Sheriff's Academy. He was promoted in 2020 as a sergeant at the Carson Sheriff Station and currently oversees the Community Relations Office. His aspirations are to one day be a captain on the Sheriff's Department at a specialized investigation unit. In his free time, he enjoys physical fitness. I seen him running up the street the other day, spending time with family and friends. Let's give it up for Sergeant Armando Hernandez.
Thank you, everyone. The event for the pill Take Back Day, RX Take Back Day, April 27th, please come out. It's an important day. We work with CSAP, Richard Biss, and we'll be out there in front of Carson Station. So you'll see the information on our Carson social media soon. So please come out.
We can't have prescription
you.
drug buyback day without honoring Richard Biss here and making sure that he has Richard. Richard Biss is one of our Carson's favorite volunteers and a health ambassador. Richard Biss is our community prevention organizer for CSAP. Right? ADAP? What is it? ADAP. Okay. Yeah, ADAP. All right.
Councilman Mayor Pro Tem, thank you. I just want to say it's been awesome working in the Carson Sheriff for 20-something years now, and it never changes. Why? Because they always think about how drugs and substance abuse is related to public health, but most important, public safety. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have a proclamation recognizing April as Sexual Assault Violence Awareness Month. Councilwoman.
Thank you. And I'm sure our Sheriff's Department is standing by on this. Thank you so much. Let's bring up, hold on, where's my sheet? That one. The cheat sheet. There we go. We're gonna have all of y'all come up pretty soon. Okay, Deputy Larry McGee. Thank you so much. Okay. Deputy Larry McGee, thank you so much, has been a deputy sheriff for the Los Angeles Police Department for 12 years. He spent 3 years in custody at county jail. In 2015, he came to the Carson Sheriff Station, where he worked as a deputy and proactively fought violence and crime. In 2017, Deputy McGee and his partner became aware of a murder where they investigated the murder, resulting in arrest of the murder suspect, and apprehended the suspects and went into a conviction of the murder suspect. So he was recognized back then for that outstanding arrest. He also worked at the department's Operation Safe Streets, OSS, for the past 4 years as a gang investigator. Today, he currently works patrol, where he protects and everybody in the city of Carson. So we are very honored and to have Deputy Larry McGee as our proclamation recognizing April as Sexual Awareness and Violence Prevention. So now I will read the proclamation. Whereas our nation must continue to confront rape and other forms of sexual assault as a deplorable crime. Too many victims suffered unaided. Too many offenders elude justice. Whereas despite reforms to our legal system, sexual assault remains pervasive and largely misunderstood. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and nearly 1 in 6 American women will experience an attempted rape at some point in her life. About 3% of American men, or 1 in 33, have experienced an attempted rape in their lifetime. Whereas sexual assault is considered to be one of the most underreported violence crime in America, and criminal justice responses vary widely across our country. Whereas we must ensure our police, prosecutors, and courts treat victims of sexual assault and violence with the seriousness and respect they need and deserve, we must do more to provide services that help victims recover from the trauma of sexual assault. Whereas sexual assault presents a sister or a daughter, a nephew or a friend, and we must break the silence so no victim of sexual assault or violence anguishes without resources or aid in their time of greatest need. And likewise partner with cities across the nation as we work toward a common vision of a world free from the threat of violence. Now, therefore, the mayor and the city council of the city of Carson hereby proclaim the month of April as Sexual Assault and Violence Prevention Month. Urge all citizens to work together to reduce the incidence of sexual assault and heal the lives that have been devastated by this terrible crime. Support victims and prevent these crimes in our community. Thank you so much, Deputy, and the entire Sheriff's Department for what you do for the city of Carson and keeping us safe. This is dated the 2nd day of April, 2024. We'll take this photo. Thank you so much. And then we'll have some words. So let's get this. So thank you. Let's give them some help.
I just want to thank the community of Carson for being very supportive of the Sheriff's Department. And as long as I'm here, I'll continue to serve the community.
Thank you.
Next, we have Hicks, I'm gonna do National Library Week first, and then we'll give it back to you. We're gonna be recognizing Marie Gonzalez. National Library Week highlights the importance of libraries in society and encourages people to appreciate and support these vital instructions. Libraries play a crucial role in promoting literacy. They serve as a community hub, supports education by providing free access to information and resources, preserves cultural heritage through their collection of books, and they play a crucial role in promoting digital literacy by providing access to technology and the internet for those who may not have it at home. I'm going to ask our Councilman Deere to read the resolution for me, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, sound check. Can you hear me in the back? Whereas libraries are full of stories in a variety of formats that from picture books to large print, audiobooks to ebooks. It is a source for lifelong learning, serving community members of all cultural backgrounds, gender, identities, and abilities. And whereas libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do for and with people. Libraries contribute to the development and maintenance of intellectual freedom and help to safeguard basic democratic values and universal civil rights. And whereas libraries of all types are the heart of the cities, towns, schools, and campuses around the country. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions where people of all backgrounds can be together and connect. Whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. And whereas libraries, which promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all, are cornerstones of our democracy. And whereas libraries provide civic engagement by keeping people informed and aware of community events and issues, and whereas libraries and library workers partner with other civic organizations to make sure their community's needs are being met, and whereas libraries and librarians empower their communities to make informed decisions by providing free access to information, and whereas library infrastructure advances communities, providing internet and technology access, literacy skills, and support for businesses, job seekers, and entrepreneurs, and whereas libraries and librarians, library workers, and supporters, including Friends of the Library, across America are celebrating National Library Week. Now, therefore, the Mayor and City Council of Carson, California, do hereby proclaim April 7th through 13th, 2024 as National Library Week, and we encourage all residents to visit our library, which we have 2 of in the city, take advantage of the library resources available at the library, and thank their librarians and library workers for making information accessible to all who walk through the library's doors, because National Library Week 2024 will be a great time to tell your library's multifaceted story. Dated the 2nd of April, 2024.
Thank you, and thank you for coming out. Would you like to have a few words?
So everybody has been very patient with the Carson Library during our renovation. And we're finally open. We've been open for about maybe 4 months now. We brought back programming for all ages, as well as laptop and hotspot loans that people could actually check them out and use at their houses. It's a wonderful service. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. Lots of libraries have tool lending libraries, as well as other programs that everybody can use. Whatever you're interested in, that's what the library is here for.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have all this at MLK also?
Yes. Okay. Yes. MLK too. We're very blessed to have two libraries in this great city. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is that I've been here. I started with the county at Carson Library about 13 years ago. And what remains constant is that the patrons that come into the library are proud to live in Carson.
All right. Did you hear that? Hold on. Come over. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. Next, we will have From Councilman Hicks, Autism Awareness Month. Yes.
Renita. Come on down. Thank you for being here. Whereas National Autism Acceptance Month, previously named Autism Awareness Month, in April aims to celebrate and promote acceptance for the conditions that occur in 1 out of every 36 children as of 2020 in the United States, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Whereas autism, a complex developmental condition affecting the patient's ability to interact, communicate, and progress, has not one but many subtypes. First held in 1972 by the Autism Society, Autism Acceptance Month emphasizes the need for public awareness to promote acceptance, celebrate the differences, and be more inclusive towards autistic individuals around us. Whereas April, the Autism Society works to build an inclusive community where individuals with autism are embraced and supported to achieve their highest quality of life possible. Whereas the Autism Society was founded in 1965 by Bernard Rimland, and it's driven by the fact that autism is the fastest growing developmental disability in the world. Autism Society hosted one of its first nationwide effects on an awareness campaign called National Autistic Children's Week in 1972, which subsequently evolved into the Autism Awareness Month, earmarked in April. And whereas in 2021, Autism Awareness Month was renewed and renamed Autism Acceptance Month to foster acceptance and ignite changes. Autism Society deeply understands the need to foster awareness and acceptance to ignite change in a healthier lifestyle through improving opportunities for people with autism. The organization caters to more than 600,000 people living under the autism outlet. Using the tool like community partnership with organizations, digital and printed resources, along with events and referrals to spark empathy and inclusivity. Whereas the autism diagnosis rate increased fast, we take these 30 days of April to celebrate the differences, learn more about, and empower individuals with autism. Now, therefore, it is proclaimed that the City of Carson do hereby recognize April 2024 as National Autism Acceptance Month as a symbol of our commitment to creating a culture of disability awareness and inclusiveness of all of the members of our community. Dated today, April 2nd, 2024. I want to have Vernie, so you can talk about some things that are going on as we're working together for over 10 years and working towards making this a reality in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Councilman Hicks and Mayor Lula Davis Holmes, and everyone standing here next to me. It is a pleasure. I am Renita Verner, the founder and executive director of Autism Advocates in Action, which was founded in 2012. The City of Carson has been there from day one, trying to understand and allowing us to expand and provide services and programs for the City of Carson. We partner with the Therapeutic Recreation Program here, and together we have provided services here, and we look forward to World Autism Awareness Month and our Autism 5K Walk this Saturday at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to have, I'll do this one, a proclamation recognizing the month of April as Fair Housing Month. And we're going to call up Chancellor. Come on down.
I always know it's me.
Chancellor, the executive director of the Housing Rights Center, joined the nation's largest fair housing council 14 years ago. She's an attorney who before going to the Housing Rights Center was a managing legal aid attorney for 20 years at the Neighborhood Legal Services of Los Angeles County, where she supervised the housing unit, the bankruptcy courts, self-help centers, and its homeless prevention programs. She has litigated hundreds of cases involving landlord-tenant, land use, mortgage fraud, and fair housing laws. In private practice, she and her former law partner filed the landmark roommates.com case and litigated cases involving predatory lending and housing discrimination. She was also an attorney with the renowned Western Center of Law and Poverty. She serves on the boards of Rise Economy, a financial literacy and advocacy organization, and the National Fair Housing Alliance. She graduated from Vassar College and the University of California, Davis of Law, and was raised in Oakland, California. We won't hold that against you. Her agency, the Housing Rights Center, has provided much needed advice, counsel, and fair housing enforcement for Carson residents for several years. As evictions are on the rise, the Housing Rights Center is needed more than ever to explain to both landlords and tenants their respective rights and responsibilities under the application landlord, tenant, and fair housing laws. The Housing Rights Center, established in April of 1968 after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is here in recognition of National Fair Housing Month. That's a lot. Give her a round of applause. Oh, read that.
Oh, okay. This one. You got it, right? Oh, I got it.
It's one after you.
Thank you. Those are duplicates. So thank you for being here. That's you have a great resume, and we're looking forward to great things in Carson. The people of the city need protection. Whereas in the year 2024, the city of Carson celebrates the 56th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act, the landmark civil rights law signed by President Lyndon Baines Johnson on April 11th, 1968, that made discrimination in housing transactions unlawful. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing because of race, color, national origin, religions, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, disabilities, and familial status. Whereas the act is intended to provide for fair housing throughout the country, this April, the City of Carson renews its commitment, along with the U.S. Department of Housing and Development, to end housing discrimination and to ensure every person has equal access to safe, affordable housing. And whereas housing is a critical component of family and community health and stability, housing choice impacts our children's access to education, our ability to seek and retain employment options, the cultural benefits we enjoy, the extent of our exposure to crime and drugs, and the quality of health care we receive in emergencies. And whereas the laws of this nation and our state seek to ensure such equality of choice for all transactions involving housing, ongoing education, outreach, and monitoring are key to raising awareness of fair housing principles, practices, rights, and responsibilities. Now, therefore, the Mayor and City Council of Carson, California do hereby proclaim April 2024 to be Fair Housing Month and encourage all citizens to support all efforts to increase community awareness and take part in building thriving, inclusive communities through continued cooperation, commitment, and provision. Dated the 2nd of April, 2024.
Thank you.
And again, we thank you for being here.
Just really quickly, I want to thank the mayor and city council members of Carson for recognizing Fair Housing Month. Is really important and much appreciated. And also to the community of Carson, we've received hundreds of calls from Carson residents in the last few months because of the increase in evictions and also because of the rains. There's been a lot of flooding in apartments and mildew and moldu and so forth. Our staff is working overtime literally to answer people's calls and to take those calls and so forth, and we're trying really hard, but we really recognize that there is an extreme housing shortage. Homelessness is on the rise, and we're doing everything we can to help put some type of a stopgap into the inroad into housing homelessness. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Now we're going to do a photo op. Uh, Our last proclamation is going to be presented by Councilman Hicks. Proclamation recognizing April as Alcohol Awareness Month.
Yes, can I have Melissa Estrella come up from MAD, Program Manager? Did you bring anybody with you? Just you? The team was going to come.
Oh, they got sick.
They got sick. Oh, okay. Well, Alcohol Awareness Month is the most commonly used addictive substance in the United States. Alcohol is the most widely used substance by youth in the United States. 3.2 million youth ages 12 to 20 reported binge drinking at least once, whereas underage drinking contributes to more than 3,900 deaths among people below the age of 21 in the United States each year. Drinking under 21 is also strongly linked with death from alcohol poisoning, whereas alcohol overdose can lead to permanent brain damage or even death. Thousands of students are transported to emergency department each year for alcohol overdose, which occurs when high levels of alcohol suppresses the nervous system and respiratory system. Whereas although alcohol is the most commonly used substance by teens, most teens don't drink. Teens' alcohol use continues to drop. From 2001 to 2022, past years' alcohol use by 12th graders decreased from 73% to 52%. Whereas the Carson Social Host Ordinance placed legal liability on adults who found providing alcohol beverage to underage youth in social gatherings. And whereas research shows that parents do difference and make a difference by serving as a positive role model, taking with other parents and your team, supervising parties to make sure no alcohol is being served, and supporting alcohol-free school celebrations, you can help prevent a life. You can help prevent a life from changing by a mistake. Now, therefore, the mayor and the City Council of Carson, California, do hereby proclaim April as Alcohol Awareness Month and encourages all citizens, parents, families, business, schools, churches, and other agencies to support efforts to increase communities' alcohol abuse awareness and reduce underage drinking, and adults hosting parties with underage drinking. Together, through these efforts, we can provide help and hope for individuals and families in our community who are facing challenges with alcohol use, abuse, and alcoholism. Dated today, the 2nd day of April, 2024. And Melissa, I know you want to say a few words. We talked about it earlier.
Thank you for, as you mentioned, we've been around for a while. Maybe you haven't heard about MAD, but we're still here and the problem is still prevalent. So I want to thank the City Council, special Councilman Hicks, for not letting us be forgotten. But MAD's mission is to end drunk driving, help fight drugs driving, support the victims of this violent crime, and prevent underage drinking. So since our founding in 1980, we have cut drunk driving deaths in half, but unfortunately it's still a big issue.
I think it was a good year for somebody.
It was a good year, but pandemic sent us in the wrong direction. But we've saved over 450,000 lives and served almost 1 million victims. So if you or someone you know has been impacted, please give MAD a call. This is 100% preventable crime. 2 out of 3 people will be impacted in their lifetime. And as you mentioned, underage drinking contributes to over 220,000 years of potential life loss from underage drinking related deaths. So it's important to us, and I want to give a shout out to Richard here from ADAP. They're a great community partner as well as the Sheriff's Station. So thank you for having us. And I didn't come empty-handed. I have something for you guys as well. So we'll have some challenge coins for you guys. We do normally give these to our officers and deputies for each DUI arrest that they make, because each DUI arrest is a life saved. So thank you guys for your recognition.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
One for everybody. I didn't get the blue memo though, MAD.
I know.
Our red color, but
It just happened.
Remind everyone what MAD is, an acronym.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and you don't have to be a mom to be a part of us. I myself am not a mom, but my sisters were hit by a drunk driver, thankfully suffered minor injuries, but I have lost loved ones, and I'm sure many of you have been impacted as well. So we appreciate your support.
Is that the last one?
And thank you, everyone, for coming out. Okay, that's it. We're good.
Hey, you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, before we go into this presentation, the carpenters have to leave, so let them do a 2-minute. You have 3 speakers that want to speak, because I know you have to leave, and I appreciate you being here and keeping us informed. Well, oh, you can't hear me? I'm not on TV. I'm going to let the carpenters come up. They have 3 speakers that's going to speak for 2 minutes, and then we'll go back to our program and our presentation. So come on up, guys.
I know.
Make sure the green light is on at the base of the microphone. Otherwise, it won't go over the air.
Okay. Yeah, I think it works. Okay.
We're going to give you 2 minutes. You have 3 speakers, okay?
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
2 minutes for all 3 or 2
No,
minutes
each.
Each.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
Greetings, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Temp, council members, and everybody else. I'm here tonight on commenting on tax fraud and how it affects workers. My name is Manny Salcido. I'm a representative for the Western States Regional Council. We represent 90,000 members in 12 states, and most of them are here in Southern California. Tax fraud is harming some working families. When employers shift their tax burden on the employees must then pay their own tax and their employers' tax to pay out, so they're out of their pockets, which places a huge financial burden on the working family. Also, when employees aren't on the books, they're on the hook if they get sick or injured or on the job they can't work. No benefits for health, no workers' comp. So during the week of April 13th through the 19th, the Western States Carpenters, most here in Carson, Local 323, and the United Brotherhood of Carpenters are taking part in a National Tax Day of Action, a week-long series of events to help raise awareness about construction industry tax fraud. The prevalence of the construction industry tax fraud has reached crisis levels, and bad actor employees are preying on the vulnerable workers. These vulnerable workers are being taken advantage of, which are our immigrant populace, or they undercutting the competition. These bad actor employers are defrauding our working families and the communities by doing business that only flattens and fattens their wallets. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Kobe Joe Perez. Before I read my script here, I'd like to allow you guys to know how bad tax fraud is in the construction industry. In case you guys didn't know, we lose from $8 to $10 billion countrywide to tax fraud in construction industry. That is with a B, $1 billion. And that's due to folks who underpay guys who are in the construction industry. For example, I know Carson has some projects coming up, and when the developer sees a lower bid, they'll take that lower bid any day to save money. What they don't know that what comes with that is the folks who my partner Manny just spoke on, who they take advantage of. They don't pay them correctly. They don't provide any medical benefits for them. So when there is let's just say an accident, a broken arm on the construction site that they're at, they go straight to the county hospital. And who ends up paying for that? Us, the taxpayers. So the construction industry, the underground construction industry is very harmful for the country, not only for the city here, not only for the county, not only for the state, but nationwide. That's up to $10 billion that they take from us, who we can use. For example, your sheriffs that were here. And just by the way, the only time I've seen this many sheriffs is growing up. I grew up in the city of Linwood when I was either in custody or they were running behind me. Now, as a representative, I am proud to stand here in front of educated folks like yourselves, listening to someone from the streets like myself, and take into consideration what we're bringing on April, tax fraud. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you.
I was going to read my script still.
Oh, really? Who is it?
Is that okay?
Can the third speaker read it?
You did great. You're 2 minutes up. We get the message.
Thank you.
Where's that resolution we just passed? Yeah, I want you to speak on it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, and members of the City Council for allowing me to speak. My name is Steve Gantrov, and I'm actually a proud Brothers Keeper graduate from right here at the local 323 Carpenters Training Center right here in Carson. I am now fully employed and working for Swinnerton, and happy to go to work every day as a union carpenter. I'm very proud. I would like to talk about tax fraud day of action. It is estimated that construction tax fraud is responsible for cheating communities out of billions of dollars. And we all know, I mean, this is a very serious thing for our communities. That's billions of dollars in lost tax revenue that could be used for building and renovating schools, repairing roads, caring for veterans, sheltering the unhoused, and funding other essential public programs. The prevalence of construction industry tax fraud has reached crisis levels and must be stopped. This April 13th through the 19th, the Western States Carpenters Local 323 here in the city of Carson and United States Brotherhood of Carpenters are taking part in the National Tax Fraud Days of Action, a week-long series of events to raise awareness about construction industry tax fraud. The Tax Fraud Days of Action grew out of widespread outrage about construction industry tax fraud, a range of practices where employees evade tax responsibilities in several ways. Often, they intentionally misclassified workers as independent contractors or pay workers in cash-only arrangements. As a result, businesses greatly reduce.
You're 2 minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want everyone here tonight to know that we support this. We passed a resolution, I think, at the last council meeting in support of this. We understand the crisis and how it affects long term. Were you able to find it, Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, Madam. Yeah, it's on item 30 that you all have for tonight. It's on discussion.
Oh, it's under discussion? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's move up item 30,
And that's the second reading.
the second reading of this ordinance. And so it's the second reading of ordinance.
Or sorry, it's special orders of the day.
Okay.
Madam
Mr.
Mayor,
City
because they're in a hurry, I'll make a motion that we approve this second reading. It doesn't need to be read again because it was read last council meeting.
It was. It's been moved and properly seconded. Did you want to add anything, Mr. City Manager? It's the second reading.
Sure, Madam Mayor, we can just
Summarize it real quick.
Sure, absolutely. So this is the second reading of the ordinance, and this was actually brought to the council on March 19th, 2024, and this was to introduce an ordinance that the city would ensure that it's in standing and advocating for these folks to ensure exactly what they stated tonight, Madam Mayor, which is the council wants to ensure that they're going to support you all and anyone else that comes into the city in regards to construction projects to ensure that it's one legal and that they don't want to stand for and to see others coming into the city trying to rob
workers that are coming to just earn a wage. And so this is the reason why the mayor and the council placed it on the agenda last meeting. This is the second reading for tonight into support of you guys, and continue to see that you all would flourish and prosper and not be taken advantage of by those that are trying to take advantage of other workers. So with that, Madam Mayor, again, this is for you all to approve from your second reading perspective.
It's been moved and properly second. Cast your vote.
I think Joy has to indicate it on her control box in order for us to vote.
Just do what?
You have to put it on the screen and set it up for us to vote.
Oh, there's blinking. Blink, blink.
Motion approved unanimously.
And thank you for coming out. I need you at work. That's why I want you to leave early. Thank you. Madam City Clerk, all communications for items listed on the agenda. We just did one.
Madam Mayor, we have 2 speaker cards for non-agenda items.
Okay.
Shall I read the first one?
Yeah, they can speak now.
Okay. Aisha Woods. Oh, sorry. Yes. And then start. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. I know that I have 2 minutes. This is
You have 3.
3? Oh, thank you. This is concerning Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery. As you know, as I stand here before through the other issues. Right now, the cemetery is looking extremely abandoned, and the reason why I say that is because the beautiful rain has overgrown our cemetery, and I have been doing my best to continue to clean our cemetery. So what I'm asking, I actually had a lot of questions, but what I'm asking is that I can at least have a dumpster present so I can continue to take out the trash, maybe even from Parks and Recs, a lawnmower to help me cut the grass, because it's 20 acres. Other requests is just to help me help the cemetery. I'm asking for maybe even in-kind donations. So far, I have also had a GoFundMe account that the citizens have, because they've been asking me what can we do or what the city is doing. So I said that I will come to this board meeting and ask what are you guys willing to do to help me help the cemetery continue to clean. Another thing is that the owner, Mr. Mitz, he does know that I'm on the property. He knows that I am cleaning. He doesn't want to speak to anybody. And so I was able to have, since the vandalization, I was able to have some form of communication with him. So he did say that I am allowed to put like floodlights. So I do have permission to do things on the property, to help it clean, keep it clean. My biggest issue is the potential of having a health hazard, because the higher the trash cans are where I can't dump and the receptacles, then we can have dogs and other vermin on the property, which has happened before, and I was able to take care of it myself. Also, I was going to mention that I did write a proposal myself, and I wanted to present it to you guys. I would like to know if I can get set up with a meeting to speak to the council about my proposal on helping with the cemetery. If there is, because I understand that this is a touchy situation where we have the legality, yes, of having proper property, private property, and also having it being abandoned. So with the state board, the bureau, what they say is, out of our jurisdiction, and they say it's up to either you guys or the owner. So with the owner is like, okay, well, you have to talk to the city and the state. So it bounces back in, back.
This item isn't on our agenda. I'm going to have our city attorney to speak with you off sidebar. Okay? Who? Oh, you want to address it publicly? Okay.
I just want to remind the council that there was extensive discussion about this item, and my office did extensive legal research on it, and we reported back publicly that the council has no jurisdiction over this, and in fact, you would infringe upon the county's jurisdiction if you get involved in this. I want to be very clear, this was extensively researched and reported publicly upon, and there isn't anything you can do.
This is, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out. She will address your concerns. The next one is?
Next one, Louis Lee. If you could please come forward.
Hello, Mr. Lee.
Testing one. Yes. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, distinguished council members, and distinguished panel. I'm just here to give you a progress report. The last time I had come, you said you would help us, and Mr. Bennett contacted us about the block grant. However, the requirements are that we have to submit a financial audit. We're only asking for $20,000, and the audit costs $15,000. So it doesn't behoove us to do that. So what we did was we went to the Boys and Girls Club, and it's amazing because Jim Richards and Kim Richards and I are neighbors. So yesterday I met with the Richards at my house, and they said that if you would increase their grant, they could give us the $20,000 under the program, or what are the options that we have? Are there any more options we can procure any funds? I don't know if that's available or not. And also wanted to let you know, to get your permission on the guitar lessons for Louis Lee to be broadcast over your public access channels. I've asked you that before, and it would really help the community. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the news, it's inundated with these SIDS, the youth coming to the malls, and it's driven by social media. I know where I live in Redondo Beach, they've gone out to the Delamo Mall, and they've had some problems with 1,000 kids showing up and being very destructive. And that's promoted from these podcasts, and it's very powerful. And what we're trying to do is give them an option so the kids can see what's culture arts, what's positive, so they can have some positive alternatives and not look for something that's destructive by going to the malls and creating problems, because it doesn't help anyone. And we need to look out for the youth. And also I wanted to let you know that yesterday Mr. Richards and I had a very great conversation, and the progress is that we will be taking our program over to the Carson High School pretty soon to start a recording arts program. And again, I work for Lionsgate. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. The Pilgrim Media Group, and I'm trying to get them to help finance this. Thank you for your time, and good luck on all the work that you guys are doing. It's outstanding, I'm telling you. Somebody needs to applaud you guys, really. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next is item number 15, approval of the minutes.
Second with some corrections. Joy,
Yes,
you ready?
Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On page 16, under, I think the mayor made a statement in regards to us attending the National League of Cities. It states in here it was Mayor Pro Tem Hilton, and it wasn't Mayor Pro Tem Hilton. It was Councilman Hicks.
Did I say that?
That's the only correction that was in there.
So, Madam Mayor, the motion is approval as corrected. Yes.
Okay, and also, Madam Mayor, if I'm not, sorry to interrupt, but I believe item 22, can we push? Oh.
We're doing the minutes. He's trying to rush it.
Okay, the approval of minutes with the corrections that Councilman Cedric Hicks Sr. has made.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Oh, I was thinking a few minutes ago.
Approved unanimously as amended.
Okay. Next is approval of the consent calendar, items 16 through 28.
Move approval, Madam Mayor.
Item 22 is to be continued.
Yes, ma'am.
Approval of the consent. Anyone else? Would someone like to pull an item?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to pull item 20 and item 26.
Approval of the consent calendar with the exception of item number 20 and 22 and 26. It's been moved and properly second. I wasn't blinking.
Motion approved unanimously, except with the items pulled.
Okay, item number 20.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item number 20 is to consider an award of professional services agreement for underwriting services related to lease bond revenue, or to lease revenue bonds, Series 2024 for the City of Carson. This item is a recommendation for the City Council to approve a selection and award of a professional services agreement for the underwriting services as stated, and we're recommending that this proposed professional services agreement between the City of Carson and Samuel A. Ramirez and Company Incorporated for the total not to exceed $500,000 over 2 years.
Councilman Deere.
Thank you. Yeah, I read this over the weekend, this staff report, and it struck me as odd. The normal procedure, I was the chairman of the redevelopment agency and the mayor at one time, and I'm very familiar with this process. I probably have the most experience of any elected official in the city of Carson in this area. So usually you hire a consultant as a finance advisor, and then that advisor, who has a fiduciary responsibility just like the five of us have, would then go out to bid, and it's usually a lengthy process. That's my experience. So it struck me as kind of irregular process that we're going through on this item 20. Madam Mayor, I'd ask to continue the item to the next council meeting so we could talk to staff about how this developed.
So yes, Councilmember Deere, so just to answer your question in regards to the process is actually the standard as far as the bidding, and then before we did a request for qualification. Then after the request for qualification, there's also then the selection of the financial advisor, so you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
And so that actually is done through staff under which would be under my signing authority. But this particular aspect and item on the agenda actually was vetted through and followed the process of previous other cities, as well as through our city attorney's office for two of our attorneys who specialize in bonds. And so that's what that's the process that we've taken.
So the answer is we're using city attorneys at an hourly rate to replace a financial advisor who's an expertise in this area?
No, sir. We don't use the financial advisors. Are still going to be selected. We'll make that selection so that way we can move forward as you had stated.
I see.
But the attorneys aren't taking place of the financial advisors. They're just to assist from the legality aspect of it.
Did they assist in the selection process?
No, sir.
Okay, well, the financial advisor usually does that. To me, it looks like getting the cart before the horse. That's what it appears at my first read. And this was just given to us Thursday night, so that's one factor. Okay, so to me, that's a red flag. The other thing to my council colleagues is that we don't float bonds unless we have shovel-ready projects or some reason to float the bond. And I don't see in the staff report the reason to float the bond. Would you point it out to me, please?
Sure. So the purpose of and you're correct, is in order to float a bond, you have to have a shovel-ready project, which we do. So we have several CIP projects in play that we want to go ahead and utilize to float the bond. After speaking to our colleagues as well as our legal team, it basically puts the city in a position to go ahead and float the bond, so that way the city, one, can cover costs and recoup that which has been allocated.
I see. So, Madam Mayor, the other aspect of that is, of course, how much money are you going to ask the five of us to authorize floating a bond? How much? What are you talking about? $1 million, or $100 million, or what?
Mr. City Manager, because there are a lot of unanswered questions, and it's not time sensitive, I take it?
Well, actually, it is time sensitive, and so that's the purpose of us bringing this back, and we had made the attempt to meet with all council. So we spoke to each of you in regards to this, except for Councilmember Deere. He was unavailable. But this was an aspect that the city wanted to move forward in, and specifically from a financial perspective. We also have the consultant that's here and can speak to this also specifically. However, when you're talking about us moving forward, that there is an issue with delay, because the longer that you delay in trying to float a bond, you're looking at a higher interest rate potentially. And so the city is trying to avoid the higher interest rate, which is why we're bringing it forward now.
So, Madam Mayor, can they tell us at least an idea of how much money they're going to ask us for?
So we can, Councilman Deere. So it just depends on the number of projects. We have several projects that we are working with our Public Works Department. And so based upon some of the various projects that we have, such as, so we have some park CIP projects, we have our street CIP project, we have the, trying to think of the third one.
Mr. City Manager, I will honor Councilman Deere's request with any objection from my colleagues, because I want us all to be on the same page when we're talking about floating the bonds. So I understand what you're saying. I appreciate all the work that you've done, but I think we can bring this back and you can give clarification to the questions that he had without trying to address them on the floor. Okay?
We'll do, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to continue that item without any objection.
And I am available. I don't know.
We continued it,
Well, you
Mr.
said I'm not
Councilman.
available. I am available to consult on this.
Item
I'm very
number
interested in it.
Yeah, it's some projects that I know
Thank
that
you.
we've been talking about implementing, and I think everyone needs to be clear. And also, we're concerned about the shovel-ready projects, because we don't want to have bonds out there and we don't have a project. So I think you need to just clarify with him, and then once you address all of his concerns, if my colleagues have any further questions, they can also go back and re-clarify it, okay? So
Thank you,
this
Madam
item will be
Mayor.
continued without any objection.
Thank you very much.
Item number 26.
Okay, item 26.
Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. The city free Wi-Fi parks and project, it's completed. We're happy to report. And I'm open for any questions. I have a quick presentation if you guys want to see it. Want me to go through it?
Yes, please.
Okay. This project started, we executed an agreement with the initial vendor September 30th of 2022. And all the parks, they're controlling from the back. All the parks, you have Carson Park, Dolphin Park. All the parks, we installed Wi-Fi access points, a total of 113. We had some hiccups, some delays with the initial vendor. It's all outlined in the staff report. Initial delay of 196 days waiting on equipment. Once the equipment was received, 233 days to complete an initial 4 parks, 3 parks that were in progress. There was questions I've been brought up here. I talked about the notice of termination to that initial vendor, Data Gear. We were able to get quotes for an additional, the last 5 parks, and happy to report they're all completed. Those last 5 parks represent 20% of the installations. That vendor, I'm happy to state their name, Skynet Communications, Inc. They did those 5 parks in 5 business days. So the other initial vendor was stating that it was going to take them July or August of this year to finish. So we're happy to get a new vendor on and looking forward to bidding out any additional installation work in the city that we have, and looking for good vendors like Skynet Communications. So we have a quick video to show. I know everyone's probably, has questions about how to access this Wi-Fi. It's just like Starbucks. And if we can play that quick video.
No sound?
Here's some of the access points. Those cans, those are actually the access points. That's Skynet Communications. Here's an iPhone connecting to the portal. Let's see. At Veterans Park. You just agree to the terms and conditions, and then you're logged on. We started the testing at 20 megs, and we can increase it to 50 megabits per second if that's an interest to the council, and adjust it as need be. But everyone is able to use the Wi-Fi currently, and the project is complete.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So I wanted to pull this item because I brought it up at the last council meeting. It was incomplete at the time, and I want to thank you and your staff and the city manager and his staff for making sure that this has been completed in a timely manner. So kudos to you. You guys did a great job to bring it forward tonight. So, it's great that we're having high-speed internet. That's really bringing Carson into the 21st century, and that's what we want to do. It's going to be at all of our parks, and that's wonderful. I do have a couple questions, though. Could you please share with us how the new Wi-Fi in our parks are being received by the community? And what type of feedback do you have? And have you seen any positive feedback from residents or any comments from residents so far?
So far, and we haven't done an exhaustive marketing campaign yet. We just finished a few weeks back, but everyone's likes it. We've had some feedback on accessing with different phones, which is why we showed the video. It's could take up to a minute depending on the phone, but other than that, everyone that we've talked to tested it, appreciates the service, and if you have any feedback from any of your residents, feel free to send them our way.
Okay, well, that's one question, and you partially answered the second question as well, which is, does the city have plans to make sure that all of our residents, including our senior citizens, and regardless of their technical expertise, can easily access this Wi-Fi in our parks? Sure,
we most certainly can work with. We have our senior lab. I don't think the youth labs would tend to need it, but definitely our seniors. We have a senior computer lab. We most certainly can make sure that they're connected. When they visit the senior lab, or we could put out a video on our website as well.
So you would be referring maybe people at Park XYZ to the senior lab at the Carson Event Center?
We can go out to the different parks too. If I think we rely on a lot of the park staff. There actually was someone that was having issues at one of the parks, and the staff on site actually helped them. It wasn't. It's a very similar experience to, Starbucks or free Wi-Fi in other places. But yeah, we most certainly will be happy to reach out and provide some trainings, schedule some trainings with
Great.
folks.
It's good news. So, Madam Mayor, in the interest of time, I will move that we go ahead and accept the as complete project number 1738, the Wi-Fi at all of our city parks, and authorize staff to file a notice of completion.
Been moved and properly second. Any further dialogue from my colleagues? Not here. Yes, you have a question, MPT.
No, I just wanted to point out one vendor said it was going to be months. Then you brought another vendor in, and they got it complete in 5 days. I literally been asking for Wi-Fi since COVID. When I saw a young lady in Taco Bell trying to get Wi-Fi in order to do her homework. We've been asking for Wi-Fi in our parks for quite some time. And for you to come knock it out in 5 days, on behalf of the 25,000 people I represent in District 1, I want to say thank you, because there's some people who can't afford Wi-Fi. And to be in the parks the other day, I needed to do something, and I'm fortunate enough to have a phone that has Wi-Fi. However, I needed to download like a big document, and for me to be able to pull out my laptop while I was at Stevenson Park, while my daughter was playing softball, and be able to download a few documents and get business done in the park was life-changing. I'm like, oh, wow, we're able to do this in the park? So I want to just give you hats off. These are important, and particularly in our communities where access hasn't always been accessible. I think if we are going to be a community of transformation, we have to have access like other communities. Our children should be able to access internet at rapid speed. If we're living in the digital age, our children need to be able to access things at their fingertips. And I'm glad tonight and in the future that Carson will just get better and better. And I'm applauding this leadership, this city management team, that after years of trying to make it happen, it's finally happened, that Wi-Fi is in every park. We have parks all over the city, and this is just amazing. Do you know how many children play in the park? How many children can take their tablets to the park who may not have access? How many parents can go to the park who can't afford Wi-Fi, who can go fill out a job application if they take their laptop and they may not have Wi-Fi, but the job application requires you to fill it out online. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to highlight that if someone missed that one vendor said it was going to be months, but you got it done in 5 days. So I wanted to highlight that and just wanted to say thank you through the city manager, and thank you for the incredible work and the job well done.
I just want to really quickly thank our executive team. They give City Manager Roberts and Assistant City Manager just tremendous support, and as well our Director of Public Works over there, Dr. Rogers. We had to collaborate with him on some of the electrical boxes and things like that. So we have all the pieces to collaborate. Last shout out to Mitch Moranis. He's our network administrator, and he felt the fire, and he stepped up and helped us. Stepped up and gave the new vendor the information they needed to knock it out within 5 days. So really appreciate all the support. So, thank
How
you.
long have you been here? You're not the only one, okay? Don't even try it.
7 months and I think like 4 days, 3 days.
7 months and 4 days.
Something like that, yeah.
3 hours and 15 seconds. I love it.
A long night.
So you've earned it, your salary, and we're going to keep you.
Thank
okay?
you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Gary, I just want to say thank you because when you first walked in the door, I think I gave you 3 different tasks. This is one of them.
Yeah.
And when I saw this on the agenda, I was going to have it pulled, but dear Rami, it got me to the point before I can get to it fast enough. But I just want to say thank you for getting this done. It's a long time coming, as Mayor Pro Tem talked about, because we did ask for this at the beginning of the pandemic, because I knew a lot of kids through LAUSD and our private schools, they didn't have access, and our libraries were closed at the same time. So there was nothing available to any of our kids or our residents to get any type of Wi-Fi. But I just want to ask another ask on top of that ask is our mini parks. You got Perry, you have Friendship, you have several that are in the community, and they're used. So I don't know how we can devise a way. There's no buildings on many of these facilities, but it's some kind of way to at least get them connected with Wi-Fi as well, because they do visit those facilities as well.
Sure. We can revisit, connecting those for sure. There's
Okay.
some point-to-point options that are out there, and we'll look into that.
Perfect.
For sure.
All right.
Thank you. Quick question, Mr. City Manager, to your Parks and Recreation Director, or Robert Lennox. We have the Wi-Fi in the parks, but what about the kids that don't have do we have some computers in the parks? We used to have them years ago, where they could go in and do their homework. Not play games. A little, okay. Give me a laptop. We used to have little computer rooms.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just our Director of Community Services, Mr. Michael Whitaker, will speak to that. He's just trying to fight the time difference, so I just want to make sure
he just flew
he's
in.
okay.
He didn't know how to stay at home an extra day.
Yeah, he can't stay away. He was not supposed to be here tonight, but he's here. So.
Well, then I can ask Robert Lennox. I don't even see Mike Whitaker.
Good. We're glad to have him back. Glad to have him back.
Dr. Lennox.
Madam Mayor, currently we do have alternatives at one of our sites, which is Carson Park, where we do have the lab. We don't have computers for the public at our parks that they can utilize, but it is an idea that we can definitely look into in regards to looking to provide those types of services. Maybe provide a computer station at each park where we may have one unit that we might be able to provide those types of services. So we can definitely look into that.
No, I want you to do more than look. We want it to happen. Okay, we can look, and that'll be next year.
We will provide services.
Guys have requests. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
No worries.
Thank you.
No worries.
We can't just have it at Carson Park.
There's one item too, now that we're talking about it, what I'm used to in my previous organization, we used to do, not an aggressive replacement cycle, but one that's quick. And those city computers were actually donated to nonprofit organizations that could, go to the community. So if you do an aggressive, not aggressive, but like a 3-year cycle, a 3-year laptop's pretty, if you have it a decent mid-tier, it's usable for 3 to 4 years for a child in school. So that's something that we could look into if it's interest to the council.
We had the business to donate some time ago. I'm dating myself, whereas each park had so many computers just for this before we had Wi-Fi in the park. So whatever it takes, if it, but we don't want them to sit there like these did. They just sit there and they became dinosaurs, and the kids stopped using them. So we just want to, just like we refurbished the ones here in City Hall, that's an extension of City Hall, each one of our parks.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So where are we? Approved and moved and what?
We're going to vote.
Motion approved unanimously.
Thank you. We have a presentation now. I've been told that I skipped it. Madams, to my field rep or someone, I think, it's from the state of the city and something else. I was trying to go
Madam
on
Mayor?
there. Yes.
We have an extra speaker card for agenda item 26. Would you like to entertain
Item
it?
26. The Wi-Fi? Oh, the kids? Of course we want to hear from you. Come on down. While they're setting up for the presentation, we'll, as soon as the kids finish speaking, we'll show the presentation. Thank you, young people.
Thank you.
Come on up so we can see all of you.
Yeah, the whole group can come up.
Come on up. Give us some support.
Don't stand up by herself.
okay, it's okay.
Come on.
Thank you, young man.
She needs some muscle up there behind her. Hold up.
So, we're from San Pedro High School, actually, so this is not our,
Pedro.
Do you want to live in
City.
Carson?
No, we don't live in Carson, unfortunately.
But you want to?
Yes.
It's a beautiful city.
You
I just
use
put
the
you on the
parks.
spot.
I mean, we've been to San Pedro, I mean, it's a neighborhood council meeting because San Pedro is not a city, but this is so, like, elegant. But I asked the nice people back there that if I could raise my hand, because I don't know the etiquette in this room. But I'm glad that I could speak on this. And one thing that, at least not maybe a resident of Carson, but as a student, maybe not necessarily putting computers, because under LUSD jurisdiction we are provided with laptops, and these laptops unfortunately don't have Wi-Fi built in them. They tried to do that with Verizon and something, and like the portable Wi-Fi, but it didn't work. You know, I was someone who was affected by not having Wi-Fi and having to go to like a local library or Starbucks. And one thing that would probably help is having outlets that would work, because people could bring these, you know, school-provided, they're Chromebooks, and just plug it in, because we're provided with the computer and charger, so you wouldn't have to necessarily worry about replacing these computers constantly. These computers already have blocked-in websites. You know, you can't just like mess around on them or play games. But yeah, I remember coming to Dolphin Park with my friends who do live in this area, and it's wonderful. I do remember having trouble calling my parents though, so I'm glad to hear that there's Wi-Fi now there. It's a beautiful park. And yeah, I mean, it's always a bummer especially when you see an outlet and it doesn't work. And rain protection, I'm not sure how that would work being outside, or if it's gonna be indoors or underneath something, but yeah, thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for coming out and sharing with us.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, young men, for giving her that muscle she needed. Okay.
And it's going to work in Carson, right, Madam Mayor? It's going to work in Carson. If they come to Carson to use it Wi-Fi, it'll work here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So spread the word to San Pedro and everywhere else that Carson is the place to be.
I'm not sure if you guys are like, maybe not working together, but like, I'm not sure, again, like I'm not sure how my voice is heard in San Pedro. Of course, it's
Be
like
surprised.
we meet. It's on a website?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My name is Elizabeth Haig. Yeah, and it would be lovely, not saying that San Pedro is not doing the due diligence, because we obviously do work a lot, but our facility is like in like a senior center, you know, in a gym, in a really small gym, and it's hot in there, and it's really like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like this, and this is really cool. But
Yeah,
Madam Mayor, I have a question for you. Are you any relation to Jacob Hake? Oh, tell him Jim said hello. He knows me well. Good, yeah.
Don't answer that.
Yeah, very good. Are you afraid I'm going to tell him you didn't do right tonight? I'm going to tell him you did good. Yeah, tell Jacob hello for me.
Well, you have a city council, what is the councilman over there?
She's worried.
it used to be Joe Buscaino, but now
It's Tim. I just met with him, not
Oscar. Yeah.
Go and talk to him. You'd be surprised. Yes. Just like you talking to all five of us. He'll listen to you. Very nice guy. I met with him last week. Yes.
I remember trying to pass this one bill actually, and I sent it to Barragan because that's the local representative, I believe. And that email system like is really, because it's a government email, so they have to like scan it and make sure that I'm not like sending like malware or anything. But I don't know. It seems like my voice is very little, you know.
Your voice is being heard, so you're our future, okay?
Thank you.
All
I really
right.
appreciate that.
So thank you for coming out.
And I got your dad on the phone right now, Jacob Hake.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Great job, young lady. Very good. And gentlemen, good backup. Good you chose her as the leader.
Yes. that's called woman power. I love it. On March 19th, we made history in the city of Carson by signing an MOU alongside President Parham. This collaboration is set to bring new opportunities and growth to Carson, strengthening our commitment as your mayor to educate and build a strong relationship with our university. There's not many cities that have a university in it, and we are one of them. And Cal State University is the city of Carson's university. I'm just pleased with the relationship we've built. And you have a video to show, my dear?
So wonderful to be in the city of Carson, as they call it, the jewel of the South Bay. And it's interesting because the excellence that is existing in the city is not something we simply have to create. It really is something we just have to reveal. And now that we have begun to reveal different parts of the city, different parts of the campus, and how the synergy we create together is creating more visibility for both of these entities, I think that piece is a winning formula.
This city deserves a performing arts center. Okay? A performing arts center here in this great city of Carson. That's what we are. We are the jewel of the South Bay.
No, State of the City testimonials, or you have, okay.
I'm homegrown, so I like that feeling. I like the fact that we're all inclusive. We're the most diverse city there is in the United States, and it brings all the different cultures together. And that's what this State of the City is about, too. Bring together people from all walks of life, our residents, our business community, so that we can all come together as one family.
And what I like about the city of Carson, having raised my family here, and my adult children are now raising their children here in the city of Carson. And this is why it's such a thriving city and a lovely place in which to live and raise the family.
I'm here today because this is our city. This is where our business, this is our community, and I'm just happy to be here today and join in all the festivities, and I'm also being a part of the wealth. So I'm just happy to be here for Madam Mayor.
It really is a team. So when you have a council that is working great with the city staff, we work together and we listen. That's the first thing we need to do is listen to what the residents in the city of Carson want. And that is our priority. And we're getting ready for the Olympics. LA 28 is coming up, and the city of Carson is going to be in the middle of that. So come to the jewel of the South Bay, the city of Carson.
I'm here for Cedric. Cedric said be here, I'm here. Yeah? Is that true for everybody?
Well, we always talk about Beverly Hills, that we want to make Carson the Beverly Hills of Carson. So what better way to have the mayor of Beverly Hills to be here? We both work together on the Clean Power Alliance, and we work together on that board. And then he is the outgoing president, but I'm on the executive board. And so we work together to make sure electricity, services, transmission of that is at a reasonable cost to our residents, and that we work together on that project together.
The city has a clear vision and fearless leaders. They know exactly what they want to do, and it's been such a pleasure, such an honor to be a part of the team that implements this vision for this community. I just love everything about Carson. It is the jewel of the South Bay, and it is going to shine brighter than ever by 2020 for the Olympics.
In a few words, the state of the city is fantastic. And I say that because not just economically, but we're also growing from an economic development standpoint. We're growing in population. We're growing in our programming and events in the city. And so it is just continuing to evolve, and it's just remarkable.
Faring is a real estate development company that has had a long history in Carson, and the state of the city has never been brighter. between the city council and our community and staff, the city's heading in the right direction.
It's incredible here. It's a dream come true. I've born and raised here, so I'm homegrown. So it's incredible to serve the city in which I grew up in. We're about our community, whether it's our residents or our business. We look at them both as our community. No community is good without its residents. No community is good without its businesses. We need both.
Geographically, we're centered in the south part of Los Angeles County with great opportunity halfway between Long Beach and LAX, right next to the port of the twin ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. So the logistics industry is important to Carson. It's also a place where pretty much anybody can get here from anywhere, if you know what I mean. And my dream has been for many, many years to make Carson a model community for America. A city that's so rich with diversity, that has prosperity, beauty, safety, and opportunity for everyone.
Guys, so we've been in Carson for over 20 years. The Galaxy have called this home for over 20 years. And we're just incredibly proud to be part of this city. And looking forward to this amazing State of the City address here with our wonderful mayor.
The South Bay has always had its premier cities, which were Torrance, Manhattan Beach, and Hermosa Beach, and so much, and everybody else was also in. Well, it's changed, and it's changed due to leadership. And she's provided great leadership to put the city in not only the social standing that it is, but to develop the resources that are necessary to upgrade facilities for the children, visitors, and the residents.
The partnership between the university and the city is one that has been strengthened in the administration between myself and particularly the mayor, Willa Davis-Sons, and support from the city council. And with that partnership, it is like 1 and 1 equals 3. Cal State University Dominguez Hills is one of the most important assets that exist in this city. And so the synergy that we've created allows us to leverage that asset to do some of the special things that we're doing, and we're just happy to be a part of that.
I want to thank all the staff, purchasing, PIO, ISPN. Everyone played an important role in putting this State of the City event together. And if you missed the event, you can see it on YouTube under the City of Carson. And thank you to all the elected officials from other cities that came in. I'm really proud of the milestones that we've achieved and excited to what's going to come next. And as we begin a new journey toward a greater accomplishments. The next video is from Marla, Fox 11.
I spent the day in the city of Carson.
What does it take to be a successful leader?
Leaders have to have someone that wants to follow them. You have to be resilient. You have to have integrity. You have to fight those battles and know how to say yes or no in spite of.
That is Carson Mayor Lula Davis-Holmes at today's State of the City address that I had the honor of emceeing. About 600 people. Look at all of you beautiful people. You filled the event center. This is a look from my vantage point. Many of them Fox 11 viewers. I see you, Mr. Hilton, and hopefully some new viewers watching tonight. The mayor touting the city's economic growth. Since her 2020 election, the general fund has grown from $44 million to $221 million. Thank you to everyone who came out. Louie, Al, Latoya, Raven, Arlene, Cedric Hicks, Garrick, Maisha, Cac. The list goes on and on. I hope you're watching. Okay, that does it for us at 11 o'clock. Good night, LA.
We made TV, and I'm just, it's a joy for us to see Carson growing and getting the recognition that it deserves. Most of the time in the past you would hear about all the negative things that's going on in the city council, and I'm just pleased that we have flipped the script, and everyone wants to know what are they doing in the city of Carson. I had one city to come out and brought his entire staff to say, I want to show you how a State of the City should be presented. He brought his staff. Well, I didn't find about those, but anyway, just thank you to this city council because we've taken our State of the Cities to a different level. And I just want to, again, all the staff that was involved, Tariq, you and the Lulu girls, Maisha and Raven, you guys saw something that you knew I wouldn't like, that didn't represent us as a city. It wasn't just about me, and you went and took the time to make it right. And I was told that not only did we hit the ball out of the ballpark, we hit it out of the parking lot. So thank you for that. And there's something else that you want to show, article from the Daily Breeze. This was in the Daily Breeze. Nice comments, nice article. So I think we have it on our desk. Okay, so that's a quick snapshot of the State of the City address, and our residents were really, really appreciative that they were at the table and not on the sidelines looking in. It was a nice mixture of our residents and our business community that came out. We heard a few people didn't show up, but there were so many new people that came up, so I just appreciate everyone, everything, all the hard work that went into making this State of the City what I consider to be the best, even though it was mine. What do you think, MPT?
I just want to say kudos. I think that I've heard raving reviews about it across the city, across business community. That Carson is thriving. I think it's a joy to serve. I've been on bitter councils before. And it's a joy to serve. I've been in the positions where I think when a council's united, we can get a whole lot of stuff done. So I'm excited to be serving at this time in history and to be able to move the agenda of the people forward. So I'm excited, Mayor, excited about the work you're doing, excited about the work that we're doing together. You being the figurehead of the city and you getting the shine, we don't mind lifting you up. You getting the shine, you being the mayor. It's an exciting time in Carson, so I'm excited about it.
Well, I may be the figurehead, but I could be a lame duck figurehead. I think we've been on the right page, and that's called, I always say, teamwork is what makes the dream work. If there is no team, I could be the figurehead, but I think we've all worked together on some major projects that's making this city shine. So thank you, staff, for putting that together. Any more comments? Okay, we're gonna move to item number, what is that, 29, local and uncontested commissions, committees, and boards. Does anyone have anyone they'd like to add, delete, remove, whatever? I'm really concerned about our youth commission. Really. We have 12 parks, and if they can't get 2 commissioners, somebody's not doing their job. My philosophy has always been, if you got a staff person at that park, if he doesn't have 10, 15 kids waiting for him, that doesn't make sense. The youth are our future, so whatever it takes, they're at the park, they're planning our programs. We should be able to have a thriving youth commission with a waiting list. So, somebody's not doing their job. I don't know who. Thank you. I want to, you guys have any council members, any additions? You still have a few vacancies. I've had a request for some time, and I forgot about it, that on my planning commission, Jaime Monteclaro, he had requested to become an alternate. He's in a regular position. He hasn't been able to attend. So my question is, if we move him from the regular to this alternate vacant, because there is a vacancy, can I do that tonight or what? Joy. I can? Okay, so let's move Jaime to the alternate number 1 position. And then that'll be a vacancy so we can move up someone else. Rhonda Brown? Is that right? Okay, and I'd like to appoint, is it LaRonda Brown? to the alternate on the Senior Citizen Advisory Commission. Number what? No, then they'd have to come in and fill out all this paperwork. Yeah, do just appoint. One is open, we'll move them accordingly. Okay, so that's my recommendation, to appoint to the Senior Citizen Advisory Commission, move Monteclaro to the vacant alternate position.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve your movement of, or transferring your commissioners.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved. Did anybody second it? Second. Oh, you seconded it. I did. I make the vote. Okay, you seconded it. Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Motion approved unanimously.
And Madam Mayor, my commission appointments are all full, but I do want to make a comment, if I could. The chair of the Human Relations Commission, Tina Keeley, is still recovering.
Right.
I just want people to know that.
Yes, she's.
So all
and
our
we did
prayers
send her.
go to Tina Keeley for her quick recovery.
Thank you. Let's drop her another card, City, saying we're thinking of you. I know we sent her some flowers, but it's always nice to get a card saying her city family is thinking of her. Okay, memorial adjournments.
Yes, Madam Mayor, the names I was given are Christopher R. Witherspoon, Rodney Curtis, Trieta Moore, and Raymond L. Cordova.
Oh,
And any names the mayor and council may have?
Yes, I was going to mention Ray Cordova. He's the godfather of labor,
Mm-hmm.
and his services are this Sunday at 1 o'clock. So I want to keep his family in our prayers.
Madam Mayor, can we add Lewis Gossett Jr.?
Gloria, we've had him on before. Yeah. We did send, where are we? Request. Gloria Lewis, our commissioner, her husband passed, and I had mentioned his name some time ago. Did we send the family a floral arrangement? Gloria Lewis, Commissioner Gloria Lewis. I think she's on the Senior Citizen Advisory Commission. His services when, MPG? No.
His service will be on Thursday, on 3/10, a memorial service. A memorial service on April 11th.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I'm sorry.
I think I have it. Maisha has it because I think one of them. Is it 10?
10 o'clock.
10. Is that 11 or 10? Okay. She has all the information, but I just want to make sure we sent. Okay. Council members' request to add agenda items. Mr. City Manager, I talked to our Assistant City Manager about looking at the no dogs in the park. I think we need to tweak that. I noticed the city attorney, her office may have looked at it, but we need to make sure that it's in line with what we're saying on the park. Okay? All right. So if it needs to be, I know it needs to be changed or tweaked. If so, we can bring it back to the first meeting, second meeting in May, whichever you can. Okay. All communications for council members. Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say kudos through the city manager, Gary Carter, and Tariq Rahman for their support and assistance with the South Bay Cog General Assembly that we had on March the 28th. We had 500 registered participants for this event based upon artificial intelligence, and very well received. And I just want to really to Gary, we got Google to come out
and was one of the vendors that were there. We actually did a round table around 3 o'clock with many of the South Bay COG elected officials who came out and wanted to sit down and just dialogue with Google, which was an opportunity of a lifetime to actually have that dialogue and be able to talk about the issues that they're going on in their community and making it happen. To my council at CAC, thank you for putting this all together and keeping me on the right path. Thank you, CAC, thank you. Many of you don't know I've been going through a whole lot of personal issues, but she's been keeping me on point and keeping me in the forefront of knowing where I need to be at next. And again, to the mayor, she showed up. In fact, I was doing my opening 15-minute speech that I had prepared for me by AI. And she walked in at the same time I'm reading it. She walked in the door. I said, timing is everything. As soon as she walked through the door, I said, come on up.
You were looking for me.
But the key thing about the artificial intelligence, I was surprised that my actual speech was actually written by the computer. So they just put in a couple of words that were symbols of what was the subject matter, and it did the rest of it on its own. We kind of tweaked it on some things because it didn't sound like me talking. It was the actual AI talking, but for the most part, people were really surprised. In one part of the actual evening, I spoke Mandarin, I spoke Spanish, and I wasn't Swahili, I wish it was, but they wouldn't do that one. And then I did, I can't think of the third one. Was it Farsi? Yeah, I think it was Farsi at the end. I spoke Farsi. So it actually took my words and translated into those 3 different languages, and it was me talking to myself. So interesting to see how AI actually works. It's dangerous. It can get you into some serious trouble. But again, I just want to say thanks for those who showed up. And this is like the swan song of when you were the chair of the South Bay COG. This is what you do as your culmination of your being the chairperson of it. So I have about a couple of more months, and then they'll pick another person through the South Bay COG to be the new chair. But I'm glad to have been the first for representing the city of Carson. That the South Bay COG is 30 years old, and out of the 30 years, this is the first time we had a person that was the chair of the South Bay COG in the history of the city.
Great. Councilman Deere.
I also attended that South Bay Council of Governments General Assembly. I thank them also for choosing Carson again. We have a great community center, and they really appreciate using our facility for that annual event. I actually stayed to the end, and the speakers, Ted Lieu, the congressman, has experience in technology that other council members don't. He gave a great presentation. And of course, the city manager from the Arizona city was the keynote speaker, and talking about AI, which is also known as artificial intelligence. It's really fascinating, and it's an area where the city of Carson needs to get up to speed as well. The future is really fascinating, as it's described, and we have to be careful to navigate through that new technology properly so it's not used in a negative way. The potential is great for great things, but at the same time, we have to be cognizant of people willing to abuse that technology and maybe set our own parameters as a city so that we can move forward in a kind of a intentional way to make that work for our community. And of course, I attended the State of the City presentation. There was a great video, and kudos to the staff for putting that all together. And then that's about it for tonight, other than good night to everyone. Thanks for you that stayed to the end tonight, and God bless Carson. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman.
Again, I think everyone said everything, but yes, the State of the City was just outstanding. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and the staff for putting that all together. It was really a reflection of the City of Carson and the partnership that we have. Congratulations on South Bay COG, and that was great. maybe one day we'll get AI for the council. Do you think? Maybe? Great to see that we are moving on up. And so thank you again for the city council and staff working as a team. And congratulations to all of us. Thank you.
MPT.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to announce that the Merv Dimely Institute is having our Jazz and Arts Festival that will be on April 27th. It is, of course, the official International Jazz Day. And we're going to have an array of artists. Please get your tickets. Jonathan Butler, Judith Hill, Stanley Clark, Theodore Avery, Third World. It's going to be amazing. Angelique Kidjo. It's going to be amazing. The Dimely Institute is a think tank that's on the campus of Cal State Dominguez Hills that happens to deal with policy concerning our community. And tickets could be purchased at axs.com. And all the money raised goes towards the Dimely Scholars to send young scholars to study abroad. So it's my hope, I sit on the board, it's my hope that you would support this worthwhile event, and all while enjoying some jazz at an all-day event. So we'll be there on April 27th. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. The next day after the State of the City, I hosted, along with FACE and the Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation, a homeownership and rentals fair. Over 800 people came out in the rain that day and took advantage of all the various lenders that were there, all the banks that were there, and educated residents on how they can assemble money to purchase a down payment for a home. And I was just excited, that many people, and it was raining. They came out and they took advantage of everything that was we offered. And I wanted to thank the Lulu girls, Maisha Hard and Raven. You know, that's the name they gave them, I guess. But you guys are just awesome, and CAC and was there. So just thank you. That was a wonderful, wonderful event. And I always like to provide my residents with information that will assist them in living in today's world. I received an email from Brandon Keith for the South Bay COG, and he wanted me to announce that on the South Bay COG Governing Board has set a public hearing for April 5th, 2024 to amend rule number 118, which controls the emissions from refinery flares. Mr. City Manager, aware of this one? I think we should have somebody there because we're right in the middle of this. And it will increase the mitigation fees and fulfill AB 617 air quality commitment priorities related to refinery flares. And I know our residents are always talking about there's a flare up and it's going on, so I think we need to bring back some information so we can share that. And also that they're having on Friday, April 5th, they're having a Clean Air Awards, but I think the public hearing is what we need to be addressing because we're affected. Summer day camp is now hiring. Summer day camp. If you're looking for a job for summer day camp, we want teachers, and you'll be working with students of ages 5 to 12. Appropriate start date will be May 1st, and you can contact our Recreation Division at 847-3570 if you want to work with our young people during the summer months. Mr. Director Whitaker is in charge of that. And for our young people, the Youth Employment Program. I think we have 200, is it 200 slots that we have? Well, I'm saying 200. Why don't you decrease it? Is 100? I think that's a typo. Ages 14 to 21, if you want to work in our parks in the city, learn how to become a city employee. Our director over there, he started out age 14 in the parks as a summer worker, and coordinates with quite a few people that started out in the parks program. And our MPT started out there. Must have a 2.0 GPA work permit. Online applications will be accepted beginning April 1st, April Fool's Day, pass. 14 to 21, if you're looking for a job, we have 100 slots that's available for you. And then the Autism Acceptance Run Walk is April 6th, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills. Aren't you working on that? And Councilman Hicks. And Earth Day is April 13th from 11 to 2. Where is Earth Day going to be held at? At Dolphin Park?
Dolphin Park, and it'll be combined with Children's Day into one event again, just like last year.
Okay. Dolphin Park, everyone. Earth Day and Children's Day combined. E-waste recycling paper shredding day. If you need to get some recycling paper shredding, Saturday, April 20th, 8 a.m. to 12 at Carson City Hall. And that concludes my public address announcements for today. Any questions, any comments from our city staff? As always, we appreciate you so much. And hearing no other communications, this meeting is adjourned.